The case took place on the night of October 20th, 2019. Five 20-something-year-olds named Aang, Katara, Sokka, Toph, and Zuko went camping on Lake Laogai. Unfortunately, neither of them had their driver's licenses, so Katara and Sokka's father, Hakoda, had to tag along. That night around midnight, Hakoda woke up to get water and heard Aang screaming from his tent and saw that Aang had been stabbed in the leg. After the crime scene was investigated, the cops found DNA tracing back to 5 different suspects. The first suspect is Katara, Aang's girlfriend, who was mad at Aang for wasting time with Sokka instead of training to be the Avatar and using his Avatar powers to help others. The next suspect was Sokka, who was holding a grudge against Aang for being a vegetarian. The third suspect was Toph, who was mad at Aang because he kept bragging about how his earthbending powers were better than hers. The fourth suspect is Zuko, who was mad at Aang because while all 5 of them were in the lake playing in the water, Aang went overboard with his waterbending, causing Zuko to be drenched. The fifth and last suspect was Hakoda, who was resentful towards Aang because he saw how upset Katara was that Aang was not focusing on his work as the Avatar, and he was afraid that Katara would get hurt. The DNA from the 5 suspects was amplified using polymerase chain reaction, or PCR, and put through gel electrophoresis to get this DNA fingerprint for VNTR locus 1. For the VNTR locus 1, the victim Aang, Toph, and Zuko had both alleles matching with the evidence. On the other hand, Katara, Sokka, and Hakoda either only had 1 or no matching alleles to the evidence at all. As you can see, Katara, Sokka, and Hakoda all have 1 matching allele. This is because since Hakoda is Katara and Sokka's father, he gave 1 allele to Katara and Sokka, while their mother gave the other allele to them. Additionally, as you can see, Hakoda only has 1 visible allele. This means that Hakoda is homozygous for VNTR locus 1. For VNTR locus 2, both alleles for Katara and Toph match with the alleles for the evidence. Additionally, for VNTR locus 2, neither of the alleles for the victim Aang, Sokka, Zuko, or Hakoda match the alleles for the evidence. For VNTR 1, we can rule out Katara, Sokka, and Hakoda as suspects because they don't have both alleles that match the evidence. Looking at VNTR 2, we can eliminate the victim Aang and Zuko as the suspects because they don't have both alleles that match the evidence. The suspect must have both matching alleles for VNTR 1 and VNTR 2 to be considered guilty. Based on this information, we can conclude that Toph was indeed the suspect all along.